spoke to us last night at our vets training, and I've been in door-to-door a long time, not as long as some of the other guys, but over a decade now, and I've had a lot of sales trainers, I've sat in a lot of sales trainings, and a lot of the times they come across kind of inauthentic and not themselves, and we were all blown away yesterday by how he's a genuine person. I've got some of his accolades here. Not only is he a great guy, he's done a lot of great things. He sold a crazy number of accounts, 1,067 in 4.5 months. You said 6, 7 in there?
I threw a 6, 7 in there too. Yeah.
He had, after that, he had 2 more seasons where he sold 700 plus accounts. He's not for 8 years. Then he went on and created Macer Sales Training, has over 100 live sales on it. I think there's a bunch of you guys in here that are in his course, take his training. He's a faithful member of his church. He started a 2-year mission in Santiago, Chile. Family man, husband to his wife Kaya, father of 2 daughters, Georgia and Francesca. Let's give it up. Let's make some noise.
Thanks, all right, guys. So I wanna give a special thanks to the leaders of Aveda for inviting me. This is special that they had this facility for you guys. They're putting on this big event. And you guys are, the words I used last night were hungry and humble. And just like I'll echo what he said about, what Rob said about in the door-to-door world, you find a lot of people that are kind of hot shots and they're too good to learn. I don't get that vibe from you guys at all in this room. And that's really cool. So give it up for you guys. Okay, round of applause. Okay. Guys, last night we did a training. I want to dive in with some cool stuff here, but we have a lot of rookies in this room, right? So I'm going to share, my hope today, guys, is to share with you guys a little bit of my story. Not to be like, oh, look at me. It's to be like, hey, dude, is Austin on a different human being, or is he just a dude just like me? And what you guys are going to find out is at one point, I was sitting in a kickoff room just like you guys, and I was selling maybe 1 or 2 accounts a day. But all the things I'm teaching you will be things that will help you go to the next level. Who puts your guys' golden door guys on a pedestal and thinks that they're just they're a different breed? Okay, who's seen the memes where it's like built different and he squeezes an egg in his arm? Who's seen those? Am I crazy, or you guys know what I'm talking about, okay? They put them on a pedestal, they think that they're different. Guys, those guys just choose to act differently, they live their lives differently. And so that's why today you'll hear a lot about mindset, a lot about vision, a lot about work ethic with me. You'll hear a little bit about my story today in hopes that it will inspire you to go get what you want out of life. And then we're going to go over some cool techniques for closing, okay? But we're going to do a couple things throughout my presentation today. If I ever say "aroo," all right, so I'll do an example. Just make sure the 2 aroos are spaced out for you guys, okay? So it's going to go, aroo! Aroo, aroo! There you go, kind of fun. So that just to get people's attention, I'll do a little bit of knock if you're with me. So hit your chairs. Okay, I'll do a little hands up if you're listening. Okay, everybody hands up if you're listening. Are we cool to just give me your attention for the next 35, 40 minutes? Are we cool with that? Say yes. Yes. Oh, there we go. Let's roll. So I want you guys to take notes. I want you guys to be open-minded. I'll teach you guys some things that maybe you haven't heard before, okay? But I got to start out by talking about my family. So anything in door-to-door, all my stuff in door-to-door, the reason I've been able to be successful is because my wife holds the house down for us. I've had the funnest year of my life and doing all this traveling. It's really special for me to be in front of you guys right now because I'm an international sales trainer. This is pretty cool.
I'm Austin, founder of Macer Sales Training, the #1 pest control training platform. After just 1 month in my program, you'll be closing with the tenacity of a 1,000 account rep. Do it yourself. Spousal objections. Sign it. So DM me today for your free 1-day trial.
Thank you. But she's the one that holds the house down for me. And she's an amazing mom to our 2 daughters. So we've got Georgia Grace right here. And then I've got my other daughter, Francesca Rain. And then that's my wife, Kaya, okay? But my first ever sale in my career was getting Kaya to marry me. But I'll talk to that here in a second. But I want to share with you guys a little bit about my life goal. When I was pretty young, I wanted to play in the NBA. So I'd walk around. Yeah, dude, it's never too late. I could get there, okay? But I really wanted to play in the NBA. When I was in middle school, I had this dream. I'm like, dude, I can make the middle school basketball team. Let's do it. And I started carrying around this basketball with me everywhere, okay? And I was actually pretty bad at it, okay? Carry around my basketball everywhere. I'd shoot hoops every day. At recess, I'd just shoot hoops all day. Guys, people made fun of me relentlessly. And people called my basketball my third nut, okay? Like, I got made fun of a lot, okay? They're like, oh yeah, look over Mazer, he's carrying around his third nut. Do you sleep with that thing? And I was like, actually I do. I sleep with my basketball, okay? I really wanted to make it to the NBA, okay? But there was one particular day where I'll go about this in a second, but I was walking down the hallway after I'd just gotten bullied by this guy named Tyler. I don't know what Tyler's doing right now, but I hope I hope the best for him, actually. Bless his, out in Georgia we say, bless his heart, okay? So bless his heart, I hope he's doing all right. But dude, he was mean, okay? So he just bullied me, he bullied me so much, I left the classroom, I'm walking down the hallway, and I see this little white, yellow piece of paper on the ground, and I'm like, I should pick it up and be a good kid and, pick up the trash. And I just walked past it, I'm like, maybe I should go pick it up. So I went over and I picked it up and had a quote. I'll put it up on the board here in a second, but it says, the vision to believe, the faith to believe, and the vision to see, the faith to believe, and the will to do will take you anywhere in life. I want to ask you guys, who thinks I made it, anybody who can guess if I made it to the NBA or not, I'll give you like a free shirt.
No.
What is your guess?
You didn't make it.
You're right, dude. You get a free shirt. Okay, cool. Let's get a shirt from my guy right here who got it right. So you either a large or a double XL, and that's all I got.
Really?
Large.
Okay.
That's all you get. Okay, cool. So I didn't make it to the NBA. Here's what's cool about sales, guys, is it doesn't matter what your race is. It doesn't matter how tall you are. It doesn't matter if you're a fast talker or a slow talker. It doesn't matter if English is your first language or second language. Anybody in this room can learn how to sell. Not everybody in this room can make it to the NBA. I found that out pretty hard. Okay, I'm just a short white dude. Okay, I ain't gonna go very far in the NBA. But anybody can figure out how to sell. Doesn't matter your circumstances, what country you're from, nothing. Your gender. There are a lot of women in door-to-door that crush it. I'll just let you know that right now. Are you selling this year? Let's go. Okay. But what I learned a lot about myself in trying to go and make it to the professional basketball league and all that stuff. But I learned that I was super resilient, okay? I want people to guess. Let me see if I got it. There we go. Okay, so this is a quote right here. The vision to see, the faith to believe, and the will to do will take you anywhere you want to go in life. Write that down in y'all's notes. Take a picture of this. I want you guys to remember this because this is a 3-step formula that's going to let you guys do whatever you want in door-to-door. Okay? Everybody with me? Say yes. Yes. Everybody stand up, sit back down. Stand up, sit back down. Okay, cool. There we go. I just want to make sure people are awake. Everybody awake? Say yes. Yes. Cool. So vision to see, faith to believe, will to do will take you anywhere in life. Who knows what sport I ended up getting into? If you know it, you can't say it, dang it. Okay, what'd you get in? Well, if you know it, you can't say it, okay? Somebody take guesses that I got into instead of Nope. No. Hockey. We don't want to talk about that right now. Gold medal. Let's go, baby. Okay. No, starting off on a bad note. So, okay. What sport did I get into? No. Cheerleading. Who said cheerleading? Okay, cool. You wear a large shirt? Okay. Cheerleading. Who said cheerleading? Okay, come on for cheerleader. Okay. So I got into cheerleading. So when I was at BYU, I was a cheerleader, okay? I got in because I just thought it'd be really, really fun to hang out with beautiful women, get front row seats to the football games, and it ended up being a really cool decision. And while I was in Utah, I saw these sales bros driving Lamborghinis. I was like, dude, how do you guys do this? You guys work for 4.5 months and you got homeboy ripping a McLaren around? I'm like, what do you guys do? And I didn't necessarily have the best image of door-to-door sales guys. It says up here, how old is your grandma, bro? Because the stereotypical recruiting line that I thought would a lot of door-to-door guys would be using, I'd be like, bro, How old is your grandma? How old is she, man? 85? Bro, you put 3 zeros after that, that's how much you'll make with me this summer, okay? So that's how, like, I just perceive these door-to-door guys to be kind of like that, dude, like, these guys are just full of themselves. I didn't ever really want to be a door-to-door guy until I met my wife, okay? And I used to have hair, okay, a full head of hair. But I really closed her on like marrying me. I'm like, look, I'm going to be the best husband you ever had in your life. You're never going to have to work a day in your life. We're going to be filthy rich, and we're going to homeschool our little kids on a farm. Okay? And she's like, dude, I'm in. Let's do it. Okay? But the way I got her to date me is I'm like, look, I know you've had some bad experiences in the past. I know you had a bad company in the past. You had a bad experience. But you just got to try me out. And if you don't like me, you can dump me. That's what they call the puppy dog close in sales, right? Try me out for a year. If you don't like me after the year, you can close it out. Not a big deal. No hard feelings. Just like with a puppy dog, you guys know at the pet stores, they let you take home the puppy dog. They let you try it out for 3 days, and by the end of the 3 days, you're hooked. There's no way you're giving that puppy dog back. That's how I got my foot in the door with my wife. But I sold my wife on a dream. I was like, we're going to do door-to-door. I ended up getting into solar. I ended up knocking. I would go out every single day. Does anybody know what happened? The job got freaking hard. And the next, one day I came home and I'm DoorDashing afterwards because I came home bawling my eyes out. I was like, I can't do this no more. I'm not one of those door-to-door guys. Guys, every single rookie in this room is going to have a moment where they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this. We just heard, Ty shared that story, right? Right? Who just shared that story? Yeah, you just shared that story, okay? So it's like, dude, he almost quit, but because his leaders were in his corner helping him out, he decided to stick with it, okay? But guys, I was DoorDashing because I'd totally given up on door-to-door. When my wife and I moved to Georgia for her weightlifting career, this is after I sold her on the dream. She was married to me. She was stuck, okay? I was applying to Cracker Barrel. Who knows what that is? Raise your hand. Okay, it's a beautiful place down in the South. They got waffles, they got pancakes, eggs, bacon, okay? It's some good eating down there. And I was applying to Costco. Y'all got Costco in Canada, yes or no? Yeah. Okay, cool. So I was applying to Costco. Costco was turning me down. I was like, guys, I graduated from BYU. I can throw women in the air with one hand. I was like, you guys got to hire me, okay? And they would not accept my application at all. Okay, but something happened in my life where I realized I had to make a change. Write this down in your notes. If I keep doing what I'm doing right now, where will I be? Okay? This is a very simple question that you guys can ask yourself in life, and it will help you look inward to see what you're actually doing, and what you're actually doing is actually going to give you the desired life that you want. My wife and I, we went on a family trip with my grandparents. They were very, very successful. They paid for our whole family to go to this ranch in Colorado, and it was one of the coolest experiences in the world. And the reason why it was so special is because I'm sitting on the porch. If you're with me, say yes. Yes. Okay. I was sitting on this porch of our little private cabin, and I look out and I just see my entire family playing. And they're all playing tetherball. They're riding horses. There's music. And my grandparents had paid for us to go do this. And that was my vision. I really wanted this in my life. And here I am thinking, if I keep doing what I'm doing now, applying to Costco, Cracker Barrel, or Home Depot, I almost applied to the Waffle House. Y'all know what Waffle House is? I probably would have been the Waffle House security guard, man, because those Waffle Houses get wild down south, okay? So if I keep applying to these places, am I ever going to have what my grandparents have? And the answer was no. And some of you guys right now might need to ask yourself for your sales career. Maybe you're a year in and you're kind of half in, half out. If I keep being half in, half out, will I ever be able to use this vehicle of door-to-door sales the way I want to use it? If the answer is no, it just means we got to make some changes. I knew right then and there I had to make some changes in my life. Otherwise, my wife and I would never have the life that I sold her on. And that hurt. When your wife comes to you and she's like, hey, I think I'm going to join the military so that we can get benefits and health insurance, that's a dagger to the heart. And that's where I was at. So I think a lot of you guys might be able to relate. Anybody in here married? Raise your hand. Okay, a few guys married, okay? Some of you guys, if there's any bias that I can push you guys, like one of the things I tell people, get married, have kids, do sales, your life's gonna be really freaking good, okay? But I sold my wife on this vision and I wasn't fulfilling it, okay? So I had to get back into door-to-door sales. I text a buddy of mine and I'm like, dude, I heard you have a company out in Georgia and you guys sell pest control. A guy named Mitch Matthews, he was a football player at BYU. I had his number one time because I wanted to try out for the football team. I've got some really delusional goals, okay? Of like, bro, I'm gonna walk on the football team. Freaking Division I football team. Showed up to a practice, it was like an open practice, broke my thumb. It was awesome, okay? But I had his number from that experience and I texted him, I'm like, dude, I heard you had a company out here, I need to show up. And he's like, yeah, dude, come on in. And I was so freaking desperate to get a job that I just was like, dude, I'm in. Like, I hate door-to-door. I didn't want to do it, but I've got to do something to provide for my family. I look at my wife, and I'm like, hey, honey, I'm going to do door-to-door again. Yep, you can go do it. Just don't come home crying this time, please. That was her only response. There was no like, you got this, honey. It was just don't come home crying. Okay, so exactly 2 years after my wife looked at me in the face, she was like, yeah, don't come home crying. I knocked my first door August 10th, 2020. August 16th, 2022, I completed my golden door and I'd done 1,067 accounts in 4.5 months. Okay? But guys, I went to a door-to-door con early on in my career and I was like, dude, I'm going to be up on that stage one day. You guys had known of Lenny Gray before. I went to a door-to-door con and I like role-played with Lenny Gray one time. I wasn't even pest control at the time, but when I went to that door-to-door con, I'm like, dude, I'm going to be up on that stage one day. It was the same sort of delusional like goal setting that I had when I was like, I'm going to play in the NBA one day. But this was a sport that I could actually do well at. Because it was all dependent on how much I was willing to study, how many times I was willing to fail. And there's some things that I did that I'm going to share with you guys today that will help you have some rapid success in your careers. I'm going to give you guys some free stuff. I have a really cool opportunity for some of you guys if you want to jump on it. But I'm here to pour value into you guys. Will I try to sell you something? Absolutely, because it's just in my blood, okay? I can't not, okay? But that's not the focus of today. I'm just prepping you guys. There'll be an offer later. But my whole goal is to pour into you guys value on how you can level up in your guys' own life. But guys, I called my shot. One of my biggest mentors, Ben Kerr. Who's ever seen his movie Stand Out? Raise your hand. Okay, all y'all have got to go watch his movie. He talks about calling your shot. I had 4 guys last night stand up and they say, I'm going to hit golden door or bald. Who's ever heard me talk about hitting your goal or going bald? Raise your hand if you have an or bald goal and you've like committed to it already. Raise your hand. Okay, cool. Those are my or bald people. I know they're freaking committed. If you're not willing to put your hair on the line, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to go do this summer. And it's like, okay, or bald? So just start challenging each other this summer. Or bald? Somebody says you're going to do something. But guys, there was I called my shot and I was like, I'm going to go do this thing. And I made sure I made it happen. You guys have you're calling your shot now. QB10. Ready? Everybody repeat after me. QB10. 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 Let's go! Okay? So that's calling your freaking shot in life. You guys have got to write down what you're going to do. When I ask you guys, like, okay, I'm going to do a little exercise with you guys. Let's just see how this goes, okay? Like, what's your goal for this summer, Julio? I'm not going to commit you to or bald right now. I just don't stress out. What's your goal this summer?
600K.
You just, okay, 600K. How about if you, okay, a couple more people. What's your goal for the summer, dude?
300.
300K, cool. What's your goal?
490 accounts, 300K service and retained.
I like the specificity there. Let's go. Bruno.
300K.
Okay, cool, 300K. What if you took ownership on that freaking goal? Instead of just ripping some number, what if you're like, yeah, I'm going to do 600K. Go ahead and try this really quick. What's your goal for the summer?
Yeah, I'm going to do 600K.
How does that feel?
Good.
Does it feel different than just saying 600K? Boom, because you're owning the fact that you're going to go do something. In my sales style, I talk about how you're going to do the yard. You're going to brush the eaves down. Not like we do the eaves, we do the yard. No, you're going to do 600K. What's your goal for the year?
300K.
What's your goal for the year?
I'm going to do 300K.
Cool, what's your goal for the year?
I'm going to do 490 accounts.
Let's go, what's your goal for the year?
I'm going to do 300K.
Okay, round of applause for these guys, okay? Okay, so write down like what you're going to do. Like a number on a piece of paper, it's so arbitrary, 600K, whatever. What are you going to do? Try before you guys go out to sell, When you call your shot in the morning meeting, instead of saying, what's your goal? Say, I'm going to sell 8 accounts today. Watch how your behavior shifts. But I did that with my Golden Door. I told everybody I was going to go do it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go do it. My company was offering to get me some like sort of cash incentive that I could use towards a car. I freaking bought the car before I ever had the money for it because I was so locked in. I'm going to go get the car. Why am I waiting to become the Golden Door rep if I'm already the Golden Door rep? Okay, so what are some things that took me from average to elite? Write some of this stuff down. I mean, you can take a picture of this, whatever. Attending events just like this. I obsessed over training. I read over 100 books on sales and psychology. Investing in training courses, role playing. I taught others. The best way to learn is to teach. And then I hired coaches and mentors, okay? Like, there's a lot of people in this room that will pour into you. Austin's somebody that just asks an insane amount of questions. He already got called out once for this. He called me last night at 11. He texted me last night. He's like, bro, I need your help with something. I'm like, dude, it's 11 o'clock. I'm like, I go to bed, okay? But he's like, no, I'm hungry. I want to learn something, okay? So I gave him a 5-minute call on my walk, okay? I had to get my steps in still. But dude, this guy wants to learn. I'm gonna call this out right now. Austin's gonna do big things. This isn't to put pressure on him, but it's just because he's humble and hungry. And a lot of y'all in this room are humble and hungry, but just be so willing to learn everything you can. And we're gonna go into this. You've got to be willing to fail in order to get good at door-to-door. This is one of the only jobs where the only way you're gonna get good at this is if you actually fail. Like, you have to fail to learn in this job. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a couple free things here in a second, but bear with me. But remember how we talked about the vision to see, the faith to believe, and the will to do? We're going to talk about those 3 things today, and then I'm going to share with you guys, we're going to talk a little bit about what can happen if you only have one piece of the pie. Okay, so the vision to see. Where focus goes, energy flows. Everybody say that with me. Where focus goes, energy flows. So what you look for in life is what you get. Who knows somebody in this room that always looks for bad stuff and always has the worst luck? Okay. They're looking for bad stuff. And dude, bad stuff can happen to good people, okay? But generally speaking, you're going to look for you're going to get what you look for out of life. So that's why I need all of you guys to create some sort of vision board for your life. And I don't want it to be like, and I want it to be like other than sales, not just like stonks, Lamborghini, and $1 million, okay? There's more to life. You guys saw like the only time I get emotional, I want to talk about my girls and my wife, okay? There's way more to life than selling. This is a vehicle to allow you to go live a beautiful life, okay? So write down what you want: life, family, faith, fitness, finances, fulfillment, giving back. Man, whoever said that money didn't buy happiness has never given any of it away, man. Woo! It is so special when you can bless somebody's life with the finances. Especially some of y'all got like parents in here. Who's got parents that they're trying to support financially? Dude, you want to talk about something that can fire you the hell up? How about retiring mom and dad? My mom's got this plan called, she never had a 401k, so she's got this thing called a 401s. Who knows what that is? No? That's called a 401 son. Okay? So I'm going to retire my mom one day. Okay? Like some of you guys have that some of you guys can like retire your parents through this job and the wealth that you can create. But guys, your vision is going to determine everything you do. And when I started in door-to-door, I created a vision board. Yes, like I'm literally living in one of my pictures right now on my vision board. Literally right now. Speaking in front of you guys. If that doesn't give you chills, I don't know what will. But y'all have got to put this down on paper and be specific. Homeboys over here super specific. I like that. So be specific about what you want. But what if, guys, what if you only have vision? If you're like, dude, I got this huge vision for my life, but you're not you don't have the faith to believe, vision to see, the faith to believe, and the will to do. What if you don't have the faith to believe and the will to do, and all you do is think about really cool stuff?
Just a dreamer.
Yeah, just a dreamer, dude. You're just going to be sitting on the couch dreaming all day, dude. So we need to have other parts of this puzzle in order for this to freaking work. So how about the faith to believe? So if you guys don't actually believe that this is possible and you're just dreaming about it all day, it's very unlikely for it to happen, okay? I don't know what any of y'all's religious beliefs are, but you've got to ask God for help or the universe or whatever you believe in if you want to go and hit something. You have got to lean on God if you want to be able to go do something incredible in your life. And so faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the full staircase. That's Martin Luther King. But guys, I mean, taking the leap in faith in life is not always easy. It better scare the hell out of you. Otherwise, you're not living. The only times in life where I feel like I'm alive or I'm like dancing with fear and excitement at the same time. When you guys commit, my 4 golden door guys, when you guys commit last night to hitting your golden door, there's a mix right there of fear and excitement. They're very similar emotions. They're just the way we perceive, that physiologically they're very similar. Like how we experience fear and how we experience excitement, they are physiologically very the same, but the way we perceive those our bodies at those moments is how we how we determine whether it's fear or excitement. Does that make sense, guys? Say yes? Yes. Okay, cool. So we were talking a little bit about Bibles and Joseph and Egypt. Who knows the story about Moses leading people through the Red Sea? Okay, cool. So faith typically leads to action, but in that story, it's not like Moses brought all the people over and then stood at the water and like, God, we're only going to walk if you open this water. Who knows what really happened? Bro, those guys started walking through the water and then the seas parted. Some of y'all are sitting right now waiting for the seas to part and you're not moving forward so God cannot bless you. So make sure that you're stepping in the water, you're taking those steps forward, and then the Red Sea will part. But like faith leads to action, guys. True faith is going to lead to action. Guys, I still have butterflies in my stomach when I go knock, and I've been doing this for freaking 8 years. 2 years on my mission, I was knocking doors and talking to people about Jesus. Rejection rate on that's a lot higher than pest control, I'll tell you that. And then I've been doing it for 6 years with pest control. I still get butterflies in my stomach. But I need to just move forward. The butterflies go away when you start moving. You guys all experiencing that? Raise your hand if you've knocked doors. When you start knocking, what happens to the butterflies? They go away. They start to go away. Okay, so you just get better at getting those butterflies to fly in formation. They never go away. If you enter this room and you're like, dude, I want to do door to door so I can learn how to not be nervous, I'm sorry, bro. You're cooked, okay? It's going to be like that forever. You're going to have to learn how to live with that and learn how to dance with that excitement and fear a little bit, okay? And then lastly, the will to do. Who knows people that got big vision, they got big faith, and they're like, yeah, man, I'm gonna start knocking like next week after I go through all of the videos and then after I got my script down. But I just want to make sure it's perfect before I get going. Who knows somebody like that? Who is that person? Be honest. Okay, thank you for the honesty. Guys, the best way to learn in this job is to fail fast. Okay, whoever thinks that they're going to just hit the doors and start ripping 15 accounts a day right off the rip, you are delusional, dude. You have got to put in the reps. Nobody is spared the learning curve here. Everyone has to go through it. Some of y'all will go through it a lot faster because you train more, and some of y'all will let that learning curve just be like this all summer, and then you'll peak at the end, be like, cool, I figured it out. I want you guys to figure out the learning curve faster, so knock more hours. Write down more questions. Go to your leaders. Guys, you have got juggernauts in this room that you can go talk to. Like absolute savages. You got me fired up when you talked, bro. Okay? Dude, I think you guys have every reason to shorten that learning curve with all of the tools you guys have around you and with the stuff that I'll give you guys today. That take massive action. Like if you set a big goal in life and you commit to it and you're scared of it, you're going to be way more likely to go full tilt than if you just set some goal to be like, I'm going to try to do like 50K this summer. I don't know. Like you've got to do something that scares you a little bit. Otherwise, you will never uncover your full potential if you're not setting goals that scare you a little bit. Okay, but a little bit more. So I just want you guys to think like throughout this week, how are you going to start implementing what you learn? Okay, if you're with me, say yes. Yes. Okay, one more time, not convincing. If you're with me, say yes. Yes. Okay, stand up, sit down. Okay, I need you guys to become a student of sales. So you guys need to become so obsessed with selling that guys, it's like sales is like an airplane. It takes a lot of momentum to get off the ground. You've got to put a lot of work to get this massive airplane off the ground. My dad flew C-5 Galaxies. They're football fields long. And then once you get enough energy, it gets up in the air, and now the energy needed to keep it going is not nearly as much as what was needed to get it off the ground. But nobody in this room is spared of that required learning curve to get that airplane off the ground. So you guys have got to obsess over training. Your cars are no more a place where you jam. Y'all are going to be listening to sales trainings. If you guys have questions for audiobooks, look up Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy. It's a sales Bible, best darn book in the world. Other really solid reads, anything by Grant Cardone, Brian Tracy. But like, if you guys have more questions on those, like what audiobooks do I need to listen to, DM me immediately. Another one all of y'all need to listen to is called ABCs of Closing by Sam Taggart. Write it down, listen to it. So Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy, ABCs of Closing by Sam Taggart. If anybody's sold in this room for more than 1 year, listen to Navigate 2.0, one of the best darn sales books I've ever read in my life. If you're brand new at sales and you're sitting here and you're like, oh my gosh, this is all going over my head, read How to Win Friends and Influence People, okay? Dale Carnegie. But goals need to be process oriented when you guys first start out. If you let your self-worth be based off of whether you sell or not, somebody tell me how you all might feel when you start out this job. Awful. I didn't sell today, or I didn't sell today. Therefore, I suck at this job. A lot of you guys might have that thought process when you sell. What if you reframed it and you go, I knocked 10 hours today. I got through my service pitch 10 times. I had a dang good day today. That version is way more confident going into the next day. If that makes sense, say yes. Yes. Okay, cool. And then I want you guys to be reading, and I also want you guys to be investing in training, okay? Like buying an Audible account or investing in like a Spotify account to be able to listen to reads. Guys, I've made thousands upon thousands of dollars because I had an Audible account. Think about money a little bit differently. Money's a tool for you guys to grow. The first thing that you guys shouldn't pour into yourselves when you guys make a boatload of money, it's not the stocks, it's not the duplex, it's not the real estate, it's back into you. Because you are your own bottleneck when it comes to your sales career. The more you invest in you, the more your income comes up. Put your learning before your earning, write that down. Put your learning before your earning, write that down. Put your learning before your earning. So I have some really cool stuff for you guys today. Guys, I'm going to go into some technique with you guys. As long as they don't cut me off, I'm going to be super good about being underneath my time limit. But I'm going to give you guys a ton of free tools, okay? This is how we're going to do it. I want to make sure everybody leaves with these free stuff. I'm not selling you nothing yet, okay? But I'm going to give you my 1,000 account script completely free. So here's what I need. I need all y'all to stand up and pull out your phones, okay? Everybody stand up with me. Okay, first thing I'm going to give you guys is a subscription to my YouTube account. Everybody scan that and subscribe immediately to the page. Here's what to expect right there. If after today you've got a bunch of questions, everything is found on my YouTube account. I've got videos of me knocking doors. I've got full classroom tutorials. I've got so much on there that you'd be crazy not to subscribe to this right now. So please subscribe to this. This is more a favor than anything. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Somebody tell me if there's the 1,000th subscriber in this room. That'd be pretty sick. But subscribe to that. You guys are going to find a lot of value there. Once you've subscribed, you can sit back down. Once you have subscribed, you can sit back down. Oh, cool. This is how we get you. Cool. Okay, once you've subscribed, you can sit back down. Did we hit 1,000 yet? 971. 971? Okay, cool. Whoever the 1,000th person is, man, the lisp is coming out bad. Whoever the 1,000th person is, we'll give them a t-shirt. Okay, is there 1,000 here? I don't know. We'll see if we hit it. Okay, are we cool with that? Did everybody do that? If you did it, say yes. Yes. Cool. Okay, not everybody did it. It's okay. All right, Instagram. Who follows me on Instagram? Okay, everybody stand up. We're just going to get this out of the way. If you don't follow me on Instagram, scan it, and as soon as you follow me, sit back down. This is how we're going to do it. If you're all the way following me, you're good. This is the only way that I can figure. I just need to get you guys in front of a ton of value. Okay? You guys all got it? Okay. You're waiting for the six-pack? Who knows about that? Cool, it's coming, dude. It's coming. I want to basically go into a little bit of technical stuff today. Is my cutoff a hard cutoff at the hour, correct? Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to go, we're going to do this in the breakout rooms today, but this is going to be called price, redirect, close. I'm going to explain it for 2 minutes, okay? But now I'm just happy that you guys have a lot of tools in your toolbox. So price, redirect, close. And we're gonna go over this more in the breakout rooms, but I want you guys to keep pricing super, super simple. If they're confused, they won't know what to say, and they're just gonna tell you no at the end of your presentation, okay? Then we're gonna do a redirect. We're gonna get their mind off of pricing. We're gonna get it back towards value and expectations. And then lastly, we're just gonna be assumptive with our close. You guys might have learned option closes up to this point. That's totally fine. Some of the things I'm gonna teach you guys are gonna be way more focused towards just being more assumptive at the end of the sales process. I'll give one example. Depending on which breakout room is, you're gonna get a lot of this here in a second. It's gonna sound like this. So I'll be like, yeah, Mr. Customer, so that first one, if you were to call our office, normally would be $450. After that, we're gonna come out for you every 3 months. We're just gonna break it down into easy monthly payments of X amount per month. However you guys do it, pricing, it's up to you. Keep going though. However, because I'm at your door and you didn't expect me to come by today, because I'm gonna loop you in with John, instead of doing the first one $450, I'm gonna knock out the first one today for just $200. After that, it's just gonna be that affordable blank amount, cada blank amount. Like I just ripped out some Spanish right there. Blank amount, each blank amount, okay? Now that's gonna include everything. I'm in my redirect now. That's gonna include everything. The full base of the home, the inside, the eaves, the yard, all of it. And remember, if you ever see bugs in between the service, let me know, we'll come back out for free. Now, Mr. Customer, we'll always give you guys a call before we come out. That way you know a truck's in the way. When I say what's a good number, when I say the word what's, I'm gonna look down and I'm gonna hide. Everybody watch this. What's a good number for you? This is called close and hide. Everybody write that down. Close and hide. You're gonna hide underneath the bill of your hat. We're gonna go over this more in your breakout rooms, but I promise you, they'll give you the phone number. You might get objections, but you're gonna get further in your sales pitch, okay? Guys, I love you guys. I believe in you guys a ton, and you guys are freaking awesome. Thank you so much.